Hello all, welcome back. So in this video we'll see the usage of Cy.request. So I'm going to show one of the uses. So we can use this Cy.request for multiple purpose. So mainly Cy.request is used to validate the API responses, something like that. Okay, so Cy.request used to send a request to the server. Once we get the response, we can validate that response. So to validate the APIs, we will use the Cy.request here. But I am going to use this Cy.request here for a different purpose. So till now, whatever the test cases that we have written, so each time we are logging into application, okay, by using username and password. So we are providing manually admin in this login page we are providing the username and password. Okay, so without navigating to this without using this login page, okay, how we can navigate to the dashboard page here. So we no need to click on submit button and everything, no need to enter username and password here in this case. So by sending a API request to the web page and validating credentials there, and it's totally depends on how the web page is developed. So there are some cases where once we get a successful response from authentication, in some of the project we store the session or API token information in cookies, browser cookies, or browser local storage, or browser session storage. So if you see here in developer tools, if you go to the application, there you can see the local storage is there and the session storage is there and cookies are there. So depends on application. So it will change. Sometimes people use cookies, session storage, or local storage. So we'll see how this is handled in this application here. Okay, so once if you see the network tab, the moment I land on this login page, so there is a one login request get called. Okay, so after that, if I click on submit button, enter, okay, and there is a validate request get called. Okay, see here there is a validate request get called. In this validate request, we are doing a post request on this validate method. Okay, and as a payload, if you see, as a form data, we are sending underscore token and the username that we have entered and the password. So we know the username and password in this case, but what is this underscore token? So from where we need to get this underscore token? If you see, whenever we are landing on this login page, if you inspect this page, and if you go to the form, basically wherever the form is, this is the form. There you can see there is one input element with the type hidden, and that name is token. So here you can find the value of that token. So this token, along with the username and password, with this token we are sending to the server in validate method to validate the username and password. Once it is success, then we can log into the application. In this application, they are not keeping the values in cookies or something like that. So once the session is validated, it is navigating to login page. So how we can do this using Cy.request, we will see here. Okay, for that what I am going to do is I am creating another spec file, login with request command, .cy.js, Okay, I'm doing a describe login with the request command. Okay, I'm directly creating a test here because it doesn't require any life cycle hook. Okay, login with request command. Okay, as I mentioned in the before, so to get this token we need to visit this page, login page. Okay, but we will not enter a username and password in the login page. So what we need to do is cy.visit to this login page. Okay, so after the login page is loaded, we need to get the token from this hidden input. Okay, so how we can get that token is as it is a hidden, if you have seen that is a hidden input element. Okay, so what I'm going to do is type is equal to hidden, and then I need to get that value. I'm going to invoke attribute and value. So if you don't know how to use this invoke function, I have created a video, so you can see how we can invoke an attributes and to get those values. So here I'm invoking an value, so it will give me gives the value, the token value. So I am creating alias here. I am naming it as token. Okay, so once we get a token, so we need to use that token. So to use that token, I'm taking it as I'm already assigned to alias, so I'm using that alias here, and then I get a token, and the token, after getting a token, okay, I will use this cy.request. So cy.request will take a object, so where we need to pass or send some arguments. The first one is a method type. So here we are sending a post method, and then we need to send the URL. So the URL that I have shown already, right? So this is a validate URL that they are using. So this is the validate URL, if you see here. So I'm copying up to here. Okay, so we don't need to pass the base everything because we have already configured this value in base URL. Okay, so we need to slash and then validate method, and as it is a form, we need to send it is a form to true, and then we need to send the body. Body means here we need to send that token and everything. So the first one is username is admin, and the second one parameter is password that we know, admin123, and the third one is underscore token. If you see the request validate in the payload, this is underscore token. So in the underscore token, what we need to send is we need to send the token value. So once this object is created, we'll get the response, but in this case we are not using this response. So after sending the request, what we can do is we can directly visit the dashboard page. So in general, if you directly visit dashboard page, what it will do is it will redirect back to login page. But in this case it won't redirect, because we are sending this login request and everything in cy.request. Okay, so I'm visiting this page, and then to validate it, I'm going to look for contains some tab we have already seen, right? So recruitment, and then click on that recruitment link. Okay, let's see whether we are going to perform this action or not. So I'm saving this file and then navigating to test runner. There we are created with login with request command. So if I click on execute, so the page is loaded, but we haven't entered any username and password on that page. See, and directly after loading the page, the dashboard page got loaded, and after once the dashboard is loaded, what we are doing is we are looking for recruitment and then click. Okay, so in this way we can use a cy.request. In this request also we are not using a login page. So if you wanted to skip the login page, entering credentials and everything, you can use this cy.request and call this authentication method, whatever there in your application, to validate the credentials. And after that, depends on your application, you need to store the response token either in cookies, local storage, or session storage. So it's completely depends on application, so it varies from application to application. Thank you.